Hey friends, Sheree here. All right, so I just finished going live with you all, and I'm back to go ahead and record some of the harvesting. It's, as I said, it is September the 16th here in Minnesota, and this is that area where I showed you where I let my chocolate mint just overrun in this raised bed on purpose because I want to harvest as much of it as possible, getting a lifetime supply set up. So anyway, I'm gonna harvest this mint and then I'll be back out. Okay, friends, so this is what the beginning of the garden clean out is looking like. I'm starting with this chocolate mint that I've purposely let overrun because I wanted to have as much of it as possible. So it's actually planted in this raised bed. I let it grow out and it's just kind of straggling over into the mulch, and sometimes it roots in there and you just pull it out. So I mean, for me and the climate that I live in, and I have a huge property, it's not like it's going to spread too far outside of my garden. And again, it's something that I want a lot of, and I have such a short growing season that if I let it go wild for the 2-3 months that I can grow it outside and collect a year's worth, that's what I'm going to do. And then some of this I'm going to come back in and I'm going to get some of these that have roots attached, and I'm going to get those planted up for my indoor garden so I can keep growing it fresh, and then hopefully have some more plants to add in other parts of the garden. I also started here. I'll insert pictures of what it looked like because I don't think I started recording. But anyway, I have these 2 huge piles are ready. I'm going to take these inside. I'm going to fill the dehydrator and the freeze dryer. If there's space, I'll come back out. But these are the main 2 ways that I'm going to be preserving them right now. And then, I'm going to come back out, keep going. I had a big harvest to do. I shared in the short that I did earlier today all the food that I'm going to go through and collect, harvest. It is mid-September. What is it, Monday, September 16th? I think it's the 16th. The garden is still giving tons. We're not expected to have our first frost until the end of the month this year, which is great. We'll see if that holds true. But in the meantime, it's, it takes a long time for a lot of the things that I grow to grow and be ready to harvest. And so I let my plants run until they have nothing else to give, and then I come and clean out the garden. Now, in here where my first round of tomatoes are, as I said actually I went live. It wasn't a short, it was a live that I did. I'll link to that in case you missed it and you want to rewatch it. I did like a little tour to show the state of the garden in mid-September. But anyway, I'm starting here in this section, this particular bed, and then I'm going to do this particular bed here because most of these plants I've already started pulling, or they've given all they're going to give. So these will be the 2 areas where I am going to put in some fall transplants or do some direct seed sowing down in here to start off. Most of my fall crops are going to be growing up in my hillside garden, which I'll share. I may have shared it by now. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to plant some things down here and try to protect them and see if I can get a go with them. Of course, I will still be doing my indoor gardening as I have for the last 2 winters. And but I have some things in place to try to grow more outdoors for longer. So we'll test those out and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, let me get back to work, and I'll pop in every once in a while to show you what I've collected or what I've cleared. Okay, friends, so this is Sheree here. Yesterday, Monday the 16th, I went live and just gave you guys a quick look at my super messy end of season garden. I have a lot of food to harvest out of here and get things cleaned up, hoping that every green tomato that's left on these plants has a chance to ripen. I have lots of things in the allium family to harvest. I have my leeks. I grew some summer garlic this year, so I need to harvest that to make room for my fall planted garlic, which should ship soon. And that's the hardneck garlic that I will plant, and it will stay in the garden over the long Minnesota winter, and I will harvest it in spring. And then mostly I'm clearing lots of things that I know will not survive through the winter, and I'm going to attempt to try to grow some cool weather crops down in this garden, as well as in my other garden, which is on the other side of the house, in that garden and in that greenhouse, large greenhouse that's up there. So I know I have not shown like 5 videos that I've recorded to share with you all throughout the growing season, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this one up because it's going to be quick. I'm just here to show you what I'm harvesting after that live chat, and I will link the live chat in the description box if you guys missed it and you want to see the tour, because here I'm just going to gather things. I have some containers here, and we're going to work to fill them up as much as possible and see what the garden is still giving here in mid-September, Monday, pretty sure it's the 16th. It's Monday. All right. So I'm going to start with tomato collection, grabbing as much as I can from the outside of the garden. These tomato plants are planted in grow bags on the inside of the garden, but you know, the vines poke through, so some of them are easier to harvest on the outside of the garden. Okay, so I grabbed those cherry tomatoes from the outside of the garden. Now I gotta go inside the garden to get the rest. All right, friends, so I done got in here. I started picking, got my container laid down there. I gotta work my way through in here. See, this is what I was talking about in that live chat. I just have a lot of overgrown callaloo that needs to come out because it's just collapsing. Look at this little bee. A little bee and fell asleep up in there. The callaloo. But anyway, I had to work my way down this whole aisle, collecting my tomatoes, cutting back the dead leaves, restaking up anything that's collapsed and still has green tomatoes on it, and then getting all the stuff off the ground that the little garden thieves have come in and either knocked down or started munching. Over here, I just noticed, I thought this banana plant was also just all the rain. It got these weird spots on the leaves. I didn't think it was going to put out more fruit, but it has put out more buds. And I'm just noticing that it put out more fruit. So I'm going to get that food. I'm going to get those old leaves taken off also. This tomato plant is some of it's a little worse for wear. It's pretty dry back here because the callaloo is blocking the rain and water from getting to the ground. But I do see this beauty here. I'm going to harvest. So I think that branch is done, that I just took this off, but there's another branch that's green and has more tomatoes on it. So I'm going to be careful as I go in there. And there's this weird weedy thing that I get. You can see that spreading in there. I'm going to pull all that out. Some kind of tree weed. This pepper is trying to bounce back and give some more, so I have to look at the tag to see if that's worth bringing inside or not. And then a lot of the other stuff I've already gotten from here, so this is just going to be some cleanup. Okay, so I've gathered from here as much as I'm going to gather for now. Oh, I see a few more tomatoes. I'm going to grab those. Then I'm going to go over to the other side of the garden and start harvesting there, and then just getting out as much as I can before I come through with my compost bin and trash can and start clearing and cleaning. All right, we're back on the other side of the garden now. Found some jalapeno peppers. Now I did show everything on this side of the garden that was harvest in the live that I just ended. Again, I will link to that, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep filling up my bowls because it's hot and I need to get this done so I can get back in the house. There was more of this one than I thought. You know, they get hidden behind those large leaves. I left a bunch of babies on, I'll show you. But look, I saw here, I thought I only had one of this green eggplant, which is one of my favorites. And look, there's one down here. This eggplant is like the exact same color of the leaf. And so I missed that one. So I'm thrilled to have two. I have more growing. I saw there were two over here, which I showed on the live. Thought it was just one, but they're actually two. That's the same variety. So I'm gonna leave that for a couple days and let that get bigger. This one here, let that get bigger. There are more in there. And then I'll probably be back out here harvesting more of the white ones tomorrow again, as I continue to clean. All right, friends, so that's it for right now. I'm gonna come back out, get some more herbs, mainly for cooking dinner. The freeze dryer and dehydrator are filled with those mint. Let me show you here. I told you that something bit into my, one of my leisure peppers. So I'm gonna scoop out the rest of the seeds. Then I'm actually gonna take this grow bag onto my screen porch. I'm gonna get the ugly leaves cleaned up, and I'm gonna hopefully see these ripen under protection on my screen porch. And then this is another leisure pepper. I'm gonna do the same thing with some worm. So I'm gonna hose this down real good, and while I'm out here actually cut these. I think, oh, this may not be a leisure. I'm gonna check to see what that is. But yeah, some of these pepper plants that are in the smaller grow bags that just need to ripen, I'm gonna get the yucky leaves cleaned up and get these grow bags onto the screen porch to protect them before they get damaged, because I want to enjoy those. And then some of them, they just, you know, they have to go. My favorites will be restarted from seed, or maybe I'll take a cutting and have them growing indoors in my 3rd year of indoor winter gardening. It may be in the greenhouse. We'll see if my attempts to keep it winterized, keep it from getting too cold, see if that helps stretch my season, but we'll see. All right, so you can see I have the harvest over there. I left some of these babies on here. They will be big enough to harvest in some of them in a day or two. And then hopefully, since I got those bigger fruit off, these blooms will set. And man, if I can get another good harvest off of these before the frost comes, that'll be great. I have to come back out to get this blue spice basil. This eggplant in here, actually it's 2 of them, which I didn't even realize again yesterday. I'm gonna get those tomorrow or the next day when I get those other green ones. I want those to get a little bit bigger. All right, I'm gonna wrap up there. I'll see you all in the next video.
Occasionally I need to breathe. Stop me for a second, I got needs. Occasionally I set them free. Don't hold me back now, I'm in the lead. This part, so cold life. This part, so cold life. What a time to be alive. so bravely. Steady steps on the ground, hate me, but I ain't never coming down, never coming down. Cause lately I've been dancing on my own so bravely. Another round on my mind, hate me, but I ain't never coming down, never coming down. I'm never coming down, never coming down. Before I knew it, I was hurt by some stupid thing I overheard. I never built a